Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kris from the Xinqi International Guangdong Province. I'm currently the IB mathematics teacher and the head of departments of mathematics and ICT. All right, so basically today, I'm going to share some of the practice that how we're going to integrate technology in our daily teaching. So the title will be Technology in Education, the shift in how to learn. So basically, I will be talking about 3 points: how technology has changed our teaching, learning, assessment, assignments. All right, so let me give you some backgrounds about my school. My school is an international school in China. Most of the students are from China. So, sometimes the Chinese parents start to worry about what the use of technology of their children. All right, so here are the policy of our school. From grade 7 to grade 8, students are not allowed to bring handphones, but they're able to apply to bring laptop, but mainly for the project purpose only. And moving on to grade 9 to grade 10, students are allowed to bring that laptop, but still not handphones. Then when we go to grade 11 and grade 12, students are allowed to bring laptop and handphones because of the syllabus need them to bring technologies. All right, so first one, I'm talking about how we integrate technologies in teaching. So as our Director of Education, Dr. Hong said, school must move away from the exam-focused education to embrace the student-centric program so that students are given more space to learn the skills and prepare them for the future. So in my school, and especially in mathematics departments, we adopt student-centric teaching. So I will talk about 4 aspects. The first aspect will be the classroom response systems. So here I will show you one example of the classroom response systems. This is a website that we are using in our normal teaching. Sometimes you may find out that students are afraid to ask questions, and some of them are even just being shy to ask questions. So it's very hard for us to identify who are the weak students and who need extra help. So then in my we adapt this classroom response systems so that students can answer the questions on their laptop or handphones, and they also can ask questions lively. So teachers can see the questions, then we can answer the questions on spot. So this is the screenshot of the system. You can see we have different slides. Then here are some of the students' response. You can see some of them make some mistakes, then you can immediately correct them. Then some of the slides, they will allow the students to type the feedback and questions in the slides so that the teacher can answer promptly. Then the second one we'll be doing is online projects and collaboration tools. So in our math lesson, we usually divide students into groups. Then students will do some group projects. So here we're going to use some of the collaboration tools online. And some of the grades, we will encourage students to do some online projects as well. So next, I'm going to showcase some of the collaboration and online projects of my school. This is actually it's an online game. All right, so students will be divided into a group of 2 students. One of the students will be the picker, so-called picker. One of the students will become the guesser. So basically, the game is very simple. We're going to show different types of graphs. Then the picker will randomly choose one graph. Then the guesser will ask questions. However, the picker can only answer yes or no. So here are some of the examples. Is a graph a straight line? Then if this answer yes, then the guesser can start to limit the choices. So by doing such collaboration activities, students can enhance their understanding of certain topics. And also we form a group of 2. So the picker and guesser can sometimes swap, so they can take turns to play the games. Yeah, so through this collaboration activity, students can really understand the question better. And the next one will be some of the online projects done by our grade 11 and grade 12 students. We are an IB school, so in IB exam, students need to use the graphic display calculators. So in this calculator is very powerful. Students can do programming. Students can draw some graphs on the calculator. So here are some of the projects that we ask students to do. Students are required to draw some of the pictures. You can find the picture online, or you can create the pictures by yourself by using these graphing calculators. Basically, students are using all the different functions and different graphs, and you can shade it in different colors. All right. Yeah. So these are some of the products. All right, then the next one will be information visualization tools. So sometimes we find out that students have some difficulty in visualizing the knowledge. For example, we'll talk about Pythagorean theorem. So you can, when the teacher can just teach that a squared plus b squared equals to c squared. However, if you can visualize this information, students tend to remember the rules or understand the rules better. So here I'm showing you some of the examples of the visualization tools that we use in our math lesson. So this is a grade 12 topic. Even some experienced teachers found out that it's very hard to explain this because it's a 3D graph. Then the textbook only can show the top view of this graph. So in the end, we found out the online tool to create a model that we can change of the parameters. Then we can also change the graphs in all degrees. Students can see that in a 3D plane, so that students can have a better understanding of the information. Then here are some of the tools for students to create mind maps. And this is also one of our assessment tools. So sometimes our assessment is not only the traditional assessment, I give the questions and students answer the questions, but sometimes we ask students to create the mind map. So through this process, students can understand what we have learned in this whole chapter, and also what the applications of the math knowledge in real life. And the last one is frequently used in lower grades, grade 7 and grade 8. We use games to promote student-centered learning by using technologies. This is one of the game we found out online. So basically we are learning angles and parallel lines. So let me just play the video. The game just requires you to change the degree, the angle of the laser and the mirror, so that the lasers will pass through all the so-called balls. All right, students found out it's very interesting. You can finish this game by trial and error. They can also finish the game by using the knowledge they have learned in class. So it's very helpful for us to create a very engaging class environment. And that's for teaching. So now we're going to introduce about learnings, how students learn through technology. So we believe in active learning. We do not believe in spoon feeding. So we also believe that teachers are only the facilitators of learning. We are not the owners of the learning. Students are the owners of the learning. And for this, we have, for math lesson, we have designed some of the online self-learning package. So here are some of the examples. You can see below, these are some of the packages, the slides that we designed for the students. Then we'll upload it to a certain website. Then we send the website link to the students. So students can take that time to watch the videos, to watch the slides prepared by the teachers, and at the same time, answer the questions online. Then the teachers, again, can see the answers immediately. We can give our feedback immediately as well. So this is the online self-learning package. Then the next one will be the online interactions platform. So besides the classroom response systems, after the class, we can still have a platform for the teachers and the students to communicate. So here is the platform we use in my school. So in the platform, I can upload my recorded lessons and some of the interaction activities and some of the homework to the students. And the teachers and students can post messages in the group, and students can also message or leave a message to the teacher privately to ask some questions, even some questions regarding homework, regarding that life, they can still ask them, we can answer on the platform. And the last part will be the assignment. So for the assignments, we have a differentiated assignments. You can also call it personalized assignments. How do we achieve this? So you can see that first thing, we have the differentiated course material for each class. So we are a boutique school. So each grade, we only have 2 classes. So it's very easy for us to track the data. So we'll record, for example, a chapter test. we can record the data and start to do some simple data analysis. So here are the examples of one chapter test for the 2 classes in grade 7. So roughly the teachers have a feel about maybe class 2 is doing better than grade 1. So in the future, we may prepare some of the differentiated course materials for class 2 and class 1. So class 1 will be focusing more on the basic knowledge, and class 2 will be focusing on some of the advanced knowledge. And again, so not only for class, we also have differentiated assignments for students. We will record the test results of the students for each student. Then we'll do some simple data analysis for us to keep tracking about their performances. Then we're going to create some of the personal assignment. Then we create this assignment from our question bank. So next will be some of the examples. In our question bank, the questions are categorized into different levels, so-called basic, intermediate, and advanced. If we find out a student's struggling to learn certain chapter and didn't do well in the chapter test, we'll generate questions from basic level. Then again, if students already have a good command of the knowledge of this chapter, then we'll create some materials from advanced level. Then the last one will be the various tools of assessments. For assessments, again, we're going to do some paper assessment, the traditional one, but we found out that if we only use the traditional assessment way, students may not understand because they just for there to finish the exams. So we're going to introduce more various tools of assessment in our school. So this is the one platform we use. This platform can offer MCQ questions and fill in the blank questions. So this is also like, you can also create a computation on this website, computation of 1 versus 1 or class versus class. And this one, again, this is the platform we use for online assessments. So we create the link and then send the link to the students. Students can answer online. So, but one of the advantage of these online assessment tools is that students can only assess MCQ questions or fill in the blank questions. For those questions require students write down the steps. We found out it's a little bit hard for students to type those notations. Now we are exploring more tools will enable students to write using iPads or using their tablets so that we can test out those kind of structured problems. All right, and that's the end of my presentation. This younger generation were born in the era of the globalization economy, only education integrating digital technology so that we can help students to win a better future in the rapidly changing digital world. And yeah, like what the previous presenter said, COVID-19 is not about COVID-19, it's about education. It's time for us to reform of our education. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing different practices on how to use technology in learning. Are there any questions from the floor? If no, then may I ask a question? I found that from my understanding of student-focused learning and differentiated learning, I found that the key to maximize the benefit of these two pedagogical philosophy is to motivate students. Can you suggest some ways in how to motivate students in engaging in e-learning practice?
Yeah,
from
no
your
problem.
experience, yes.
Yeah, from experience, students because as I mentioned, students are born in the era of the technologies. So if you are still using the traditional way of teaching, students may find it very bored. So again, especially in maths, because I'm also taking kind of ICT department, so I have the advantage to integrate the technology in my maths team because I can easily talk to my ICT teachers. So one of the suggestions I suggest is when we do teachings, you can prepare a lot of online materials, for example, games. Sometimes I even find some songs or even rap on YouTube. So for students to play or to sing. So students find it is quite fun. However, this kind of way, I would say is more suitable for lower grades, grade 7 and grade 8. If you ask them to sing a song or even rap to a higher grade students, may find it ridiculous and funny.
Yeah. They may hesitate to join the games like singing or something like that.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised that the higher grade students, they are really into games. So sometimes I think the game is very naive, but they really have a good time play the naive games. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So how can you identify that have you tried to identify which game is most suitable for which age group? I think you have do so, but how can you do it? Only learn from your experience.
Yeah, so that you see, integrating technology into education is not easy. It requires teachers to do a lot of preparations before lessons. So I'm a game person, so yeah, I usually search online of various games, even some of the mobile phone games. I encourage my students to play mobile phone games together with me during weekends or even during lessons. So yeah, that really requires teachers to do a lot of research online, because nowadays there are a lot of platforms online, but you're going to choose the right platform and the suitable platform for the students, and that depends on the context. It depends on the backgrounds of your students.
Yes, I agree with you. And are there any questions from the floor? Then thank you very much for your sharing and your presentation.